Call Allah, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham or Kakwadash. I want to give a double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who grew well and teach well through the Spirit, but one that they continue to endure and be sincere. And a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect in the same Spirit, teaching His word and believing His word, Lord willing, that they continue to endure and be sincere in the same Spirit. Shalom to the Akwatiyam, that are believers of the faith and His truth, but willing that they continue to pursue their lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing, the most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. Lord willing, this is straight to the point. The title of this lesson is Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, Harden Pharaoh's heart. How much more Esau? How much more Esau? So I'm gonna read the first top two verses, but I want to get the interlinear for the word harden in Exodus 7 and 3. So Exodus chapter 4, verse 21, it says, And Yahawah said unto Moses, When thou goest to return into Egypt, see that thou do all those wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in thy hand. But I will harden his heart, that he will not let the people go. It's the Lord that's hardened his heart. Exodus 7 and 3. I will harden Pharaoh's heart and multiply thy signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. So going to Exodus 7 and 3. Right? It's some key points on the word harden in this verse. Kasha, right? To be dense, tough, or severe, right? Be cruel, be fiercer, be grievous, right? And that's why the title is saying, Yahawashi hardened Pharaoh's heart. How much more Esau? Esau's more tougher, right? He's more severe. He's more cruel, right? He's more fierce. And he makes us more grievous, right? To be hard in the biblical usage, to be hard, to be severe, to be fierce, to be harsh, to be difficult, right? To be ill-treated, to be hard-pressed, to have severe labor of women, to make difficulty, to make severe, make burdensome, to make hard, to make stiff, make stubborn, right? Show stubbornness. And that's what Esau does, right? You got other ones over here to be heavy in Hebrew, Chaldean lexicon, right? To be hard, used of the hand of God and punishing, right? And that's what all nations was. Esau probably went a little beyond, but he is the punishment of Yahawashi, Yahawashi, right? And Yahawashi, Yahawashi gave us the worst, right? Let me get this side preset if I can. Get the three holy children. And I believe it's verse 8. Okay, it's verse 9. I'll read verse 8. It says, Wherefore all that thou hast brought upon us, and everything that thou hast done to us, thou hast done in true judgment, and thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies, most hateful forsakers of God, into an unjust king, and the most wicked in all the world. Right? Because later on, when we go to Malachi 1 and 4, the nation of Esau is the borderline of wickedness. And this verse just said the most wicked in all the world. And all nations had us in their hands, but Esau is the worst, right? So Lord willing, we can hold on and to remember that. So now let's actually tap into this lesson. Let's go to Genesis 27 chapter, verse 41. It's Genesis chapter 27 and verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. Right? This is in his heart. So if that's Esau, that same desire is in his descendants, his children, because this is the Lord's story. The two main characters of the story is Jacob and Esau, regardless if you accept it or not. Again, I don't do videos to make anybody believe this, right? You have to be drawn. You have to want to learn, right? Let's look up this word, hate. He hated Jacob. Satan, right? When we go into the Strongs, it says hate, oppose. The biblical usage to hate, oppose oneself to, bear a grudge, retain animosity against, cherish animosity against, right? And that's what he did. He cherished animosity against us. He bared and held a grudge on us, right? He opposed us. And you got the Strong's definition down low. It says to lurk forward, persecute, right? Oppose self against, right? He lurked against us in multiple occasions in history, even when we fell in the time of the Babylonians, even before that, even when Israel was trying to get to their land, he wasn't trying to let them go, right? We was in a Greek captivity with them, the Romans, even this captivity, and they persecuted us severely, right? Because they held a grudge. And that same spirit is not only on Esau, it's even, drawn to his descendants, right? So let's go to Genesis, the 4th chapter, in verse 2. So this is Genesis chapter 2. Genesis chapter 4, verse 2. And we're going to read the verse 8 because this is a beautiful example, let alone when we go into reincarnation and regeneration. That same spirit that Esau had was in Cain. That same spirit was in the serpent, right? That begot Eve. So Genesis 4 and 2, and she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a teller of the ground. And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto Yahawah. And Abel he also brought of the firstling of his flock and of the fat thereof. And Yahawah had respect unto Abel and to his offering. But unto Cain and to his offering he had no respect. But Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And Yahawah said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, thou shalt not be accepted. And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother. And it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. This is the example, just like Esau with Jacob. But in a full effect, when Cain got cursed with that leper body or leprosy, right? That full spirit was in the nation of Esau, and he became a nation, right? Reincarnation, regeneration, right? Which is really the same thing depending on what we're talking about. right? He regenerated into another body. His spirit came back on the earth again, right? Ecclesiastes 12:7. The flesh dies, goes into the earth, and the spirit goes back to the Father. Doesn't matter what nation you are, it goes back to the Father. And you're brought back down in that bloodline, right? And Cain and Abel was brothers of the same father and mother. Esau and Jacob was of the same mother and father. But when we see in the prophecy, or what was told to her by the prophet, that two nations was going to be in thy womb, right? And the elder was going to serve the young, and Jacob is the younger, right? So really, Esau is supposed to serve under us. But because he sold his birthright, he didn't tell his father the truth. He said Jacob was basically tricked him into selling his birthright. That man was starving and he sold it, right? The birthright of the firstborn, right? Ezekiel, the 25th chapter, verse 12 to 15. Thus saith Yahawashi power, because that Edom have dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and have greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith Yahawashi power, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall shall fall by the sword. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, which is you reap what you sow. And they shall do in Edom according to my anger and according to my fury. And they shall know my vengeance, saith Yahawashi power. Thus saith Yahawashi power, because the Philistines have dealt by revenge and have taken vengeance, and despitefully, with a despiteful heart to destroy it for the old hatred, right? And just like other nations against us, Esau has that same feeling. When we go to Revelations, the 11th and 10th, the 11th chapter, verse 10, it says that, these two prophets persecuted the nations. And the two prophets is the southern and northern kingdom, when we were following the ways of the Lord. Even the people that was of the land of Canaan, they were persecuted because they was going off. And the Lord told us to take that damn land. And the Lord did reserve some nations there, which is Judges, the 3rd chapter, But again, let's keep on going, because this is about Esau's heart being hardened, right? Having that same severe heart, or having a mind of persecution, or to oppose you, or to lurk against you. That anger that Esau had is in his descendants, man. Right? The apple don't fall too far from the tree. Same spirit with Cain, right? And Rebecca was in the spirit because she remembered what that prophet told her. And Jacob is the younger. So it was really all the Lord. People want to say, oh, Jacob was slick. Jacob was not. It was all the Lord. Isaiah 40, 46 and 10. The end is declared from the beginning. It was declared that Jacob was going to be younger, but that blessing was for him. This is Ezekiel 35, verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end, right? Esau couldn't wait. Even when the Babylonians came, Esau came and got the refugees and brought them to Babylon. They even clapped and it was enjoyment for our fall, right? Let me get that. Esau got a perpetual hatred for us, man. I believe it's 1 in 15. Limitations 1 in 15. Let's see if this limitation 2 and 15. I believe it's 1 and 15. But I could be mistaken. Yes, I was mistaken. This is Limitation chapter 2, verse 15. It says, all that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? Right? People are clapping their hands, man. Nations want us to fall, man. Right? Because we were persecuting the nations, man. I'm quoting it. I just won't go to it. Revelations 11 and 10. It says, and they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth. Right? And starting with Esau, because this is the time of Esau's reigning, right? Especially when it's talking about, this is talking about daughter of Babylon. They're reigning, right? And we tormented them from the time of David. I mean, actually from the time of Jacob, all the way from the time of David and Solomon, all the way, all the way to the time of David and Solomon. Other than that, after the exile, we just kept going to captivity, man. Right? Shoot, we put a lot to death in the time of the Romans, even though, the Spirit of the Lord was with us. But all nations was tormented by us, right? When we're in order with Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. You had the Philistines take the Ark of the Covenant and put it next to Dagon, and they started getting hit with, I think it's boils or sores, right? And Dagon, the Lord struck or smitten Dagon, the statue or the idol, Esau's going to have it the worst out of all nations. This is Obadiah chapter 1 in verse 11 to 12. It says, in the day that thou stoodest on the other side, and in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners enter into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them, right? Which is Esau. Esau was one of them that stood on the other side, right? It says, but thou stoodest not have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that they became a stranger, neither shouldest thou. Hey, this is a beautiful example to line up with Isaiah 1 and 14, right? We became a stranger, a sojourner, right? A stranger of our own land. It says, neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in a day of distress, right? You reap what you sow, right? Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of thy people in the day of their calamity. Yeah, thou shouldest have not looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of his distress. This is not the only time they did this, right? In the time when the Babylon ran through, right? It followed his track record, right? When we go into the Maccabees, right? In the time of the Greeks, right? When you go in the time of the Romans. Let's just go and get it real quick. Just want to go straight to the point if I can. Right here, you see Antiochus plunders the temple in Jerusalem. First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 20. And after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt, he returned again in the 143rd year and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude, and entered proudly into the sanctuary, and took away the golden altar and the candlestick of light, which is the menorah, and all the vessels thereof, and the table of the showbread, and the pouring vessels, and the veils, and the censers of gold, and the veil, and the crowns, and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled off. He took also the silver and gold, and the precious vessels. Also he took the hidden treasure, which he found. And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre, and spoke very proudly. Right? You can go search Antiochus, right? Epiphanes. He was an Idumean. He was an Edomite. He was a red man. You know, Harad did the same. Right? You had other nations like Nebuchadnezzar, Belshazzar, drinking from our golden cups, right? The golden cups of the Lord. You know, the track record of all nations, even Jake, the Lord is keeping rack. It's not keeping rack. He's keeping record. Everybody's going to reap what they sow. Shit, Jake, you're reaping what you sow. You know, watch this video of Jake talking about coming together. He tired of the white man and saying, all you niggas care about color. But you just called him the white man. Brothers is worried about coming together. We don't have an army. Y'all don't really care or depend on Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. This right here is our evidence, the record, right? I'm not going to read this whole chapter. You can read it, but it's certain points that I'm taking out of it. Verse 6, verse 9, and 11. I'm going to read all three of them in KJV and NLT. So verse 6, it says, thus saith Yahawah, for 3 transgressions of Gaza, and for 4, I will not return the punishment thereof, because they carried away captive the whole captivity to deliver them up to Edom. Right? In the NLT, it says, and this is what Yahawah says, the people of Gaza have sinned again and again, and I will not let them go unpunished. They sent whole villages into exile, selling them as slaves to Edom. Right? You have a history, Jake. Verse 9, thus saith Yahawah, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom, and remembered not the brotherly covenant. Right? In the NLT, this is what it says. It says, this is what Yahawah says. The people of Tyre have sinned again and again, and I will not let them go unpunished. They broke their treaty of brotherhood with Israel, selling whole villages as slaves to Edom. See, Esau got his hand bloody, right? So about to read verse 11, it says, thus saith Yahawah, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetuously, and he kept his wrath forever. Let's read this one in the NLT. It says, and this is what Yahawah says, the people of Edom have sinned again and again, and I will not let them go unpunished. They chased down their relatives, the Israelites, with swords, showing them no mercy. In their rage, they slashed them continually and were unrelenting in their anger, right? Yes, we're relatives because we come from the same father and mother. Edom is our brothers and our sisters, but they're not the same. Edomites, that mean they descend from Edom, Esau, right? Israelites, they descend from Jacob, where his name changed to Israel, right? These are two different nations. If we can remember the prophecy, right, in Genesis, the 25th chapter, right? They're going to be two set apart nations. Two nations are in thy bowels, right? So now let's go to Joel, the 3rd chapter, in verse 1 to 3. Joel chapter 3, verse 1 and 3. It says, behold, in those days and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, the southern and northern kingdom, I will also gather all nations, right? All nations. This includes Esau. Psalms 83, right? Verse 2 all the way down to 8, right? All nations that had a hand, starting with Esau, it will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for a harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Right? Let's get it even more. Let's get it even more plain for y'all in the NLT. Right? Boys was prostitutes. Right? In the NLT, it says they threw dice to decide which of my people would be their slaves, and they traded boys to obtain prostitutes and sold girls to enjoy wine to get drunk. This is what they did to you, Jake. Esau, the next nation, and the next nation, and the next nation. Jake, you really think just because America, you just got it good? This is the worst out of all of them, right? Let me get this one too. This one is kind of speeding through time all the way to the Romans. I mean, past the Romans, speeding to America right now. But I'm gonna double back. Right? Because this is just the example about Esau. Because if I was to give you the Greeks, the time of David, the time after, the time of Jacob, shoot, the time of Rome, the time of we'd be here all day, all week, right? But we just stabbing certain points, right? So Psalms 137, verse 8, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us, right? Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. Even more, you got in two ways, because of those missiles, it's going to dash a lot of Esau's and these other nation children too, right? Because when those missile drops, depending where you at, the airwave that's going to be pushing you, you're damn near your body going to crack. But really, this happened in ancient time where Esau was dashing our babies to the stone. You got history of them feeding our babies to alligators. They're just doing the same thing, but just in a new way, right? It says, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us, right? The daughter of Babylon. Okay, just given history, you can go look up a book called Two Babylons. You got ancient Babylon, right, under Nebuchadnezzar. Then the second Babylon was Rome because of the paganism, right? The ideology that they picked up from the Babylonians. And that's what Esau great with, right? Because when he conquered many lands, he took a lot of philosophies, right? Well, the Greeks were really Japhites. Esau overtook that land. Alexander was an Edomite. He was an Idumean, right? They took that land because the Lord scattered, right? Esau was just going to and fro out in the earth, right? In the time of Rome, they had a great time in Rome, but then they fell and the Lord pushed them in the pit. Revelations 1 and 18, Yahawashi has the key to hell and death. So for Yahawashi, when he used that key, he put Esau in a low estate. And then they went into the mountains and hid where you got the Caucasus Mountain, which is just like what they did in Petra. They hid in the caves, for like real. They hid in the caves, right? But only for like 1,000 years. And Jake within that time was ruling in Europe, Ireland, Britain. They were ruling a lot of places, having crowns, royalty, and then we fell because every time when Jake get high, eventually they fall away from the Lord. And then after that time, that's when the Yahawashi, because he has the keys to death in hell, he let them loose out of that pit, which is really talking about Europe, right? Second Ezra, the sixth chapter. Second Ezra, the fifth chapter, verse 24. You can go read that. Second Ezra, the fifth chapter, verse 24. Pit is a land. So they was in Europe, right? So I'm just giving information just to show you that daughter of Babylon is America. It's the daughter of Rome. Really is just Rome 2.0, right? That's what America is, right? So now let's double back to this. Because it said, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. So let me just give you an end time prophecy in Revelation, the 18th chapter, the 6th verse. This ain't talking about ancient Babylon. Ancient Babylon didn't get destroyed by fire. It did. It got conquered by the Persian and Medes. Plain and simple. So what Babylon is this? It's people keeping shop and walking past Mesopotamia in all the areas that the Babylonians ruled. Okay? So Revelation 18:6, it says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works, in the cup which she hath filled to her double. So this is not just talking about the Romans. This is talking about every time in Esau's time, right? Even when we got taken from the Babylonians, what they did, the time of Jacob, the time of when we was in the wilderness, hey, in the time of the Greeks, right? In the time of the Romans, in the time that we're in right now. They're getting double for what they've been doing in all their captivities, man. Right? Because hate is in their heart, right? They oppose us in many ways. Yes, you do got some Jake that's all buddy with you. That happened in all times of history. Ain't nothing new under the sun, right? Let me get that one too. Ain't nothing new, and this is a good one, because what had happened already happened before, right? So if what is already happened now and it happened before, that means this is not an old rodeo for Esau, right? This is not an old rodeo for Esau. Ecclesiastes 3:15, it says that which have been now and that which is to be have already been, and God requireth which is past. Let's read it again, but I'll read the NLT. It says, what is happening now has happened before, and what will happen in the future has happened before, because God makes the same things happen over and over again. So look, just for everybody saying that MOTB not real, that's going to help usher the one world system that we see in the first Maccabees, man. Esau, man, is as worse as he was back then, but worser. First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yet many also of the Israelites consented to the religion and sacrifice unto idols and profane the Sabbath. Right? This is going to be the example. And this time, these is the 2/3 back on the earth. Right? You got Donald Duck making executive orders. Can't be biased to Christians. Can't speak against the Juju beings. Can't do this. Can't do that. In a minute, we're heading to the direction of worse. Right? We're headed to the direction of worse. A lot of y'all not gonna be able to see it because the Rakakwadash is not with you. Everything we going through is for you to see it on a deep level. Really, this is meat. This is meat. right? Because the son of perdition had to be revealed after that awakening. Now, when it was a falling away, none of us knew this because it was a falling away. We had the Lord had to put the spirit back on us. Revelations 11 and 11. Now we're standing on our feet, and through the Rakakwadash, all the truth is being revealed to us. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come. So the day of Yahawashi is coming, right? Shall not come yet, except there be a falling away first, which already happened, right? If nobody was teaching this truth right now, that means we were still in the falling away estate, in the dead estate from the neck up. We're not in the falling away estate. Now, some of the 2/3, you still falling, can't get up, you know, but it's a huge rise right now because this was fulfilled. Right now, it's all about awakening up the elect, feeding the elect, getting the elect prepared for what's to come, right? And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Each day, each week, each month, each year, he is being revealed. The son of perdition means the son of condemnation or indignation, destruction, right? Doom, right? And that is Esau. He is the man of sin. He's the borderline of wickedness. He has to be revealed, right? Because he's the end of the world, right? Verse 4, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. This is plain and simple. It's only one that's making himself and seem like he God, just like when we read in Isaiah the 14th chapter, you know, Lucifer, he who trying to make himself like God, do the same mindset as Nimrod, right? Esau flying in the sky. Esau got a space station, you know. That's all Esau trying to be like God. He got surveillance cameras everywhere in different countries. He watching everything, right? And even more, he trying to get even more critical with this Karagma device, right? Instead of having one country in order and this, he want the whole world, every nationality, man. And he put himself in the temple. Like every other nation, they got their own God, their own little belief. But Esau would make himself just like God and just like Yahawashi, right? Even elites, they try to make themselves like the Heavenly Father where you can't even see them. But then have they face and they images in the church like they Yahawashi and they not. Very plain, very simple. That's straight to the point, right? So now let's get back on track. Even though we was already on track, like the elder said, as long as it's being edifying, it doesn't matter where we go, as long as it's edifying and lined up and it's making sense to the believers, right? Psalms 58 and 3, it says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies, right? Who is the wicked, right? We got to go to it. It says the wicked are estranged from the womb, right? First starting with Esau, the other nations, and hey, you 2/3, hey, you go estranged from the womb too, because you are programmed to be the 2/3. But this is really going into Esau, right? Malachi 1 and 4. It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahawah of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahawah have indignation forever. That word indignation goes with what we just read in 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Perdition goes with indignation. He's the borderline of wickedness. You can't go any further than Esau. Can't go any further than Esau. Can't. Now, I just want to fact check this. You know, we see the word indignation forever. Condemnation and indignation go hand in hand. Let's see what the alien nation is. So perdition, destroying, utter destruction, a vessel, a perishing, ruin, destruction, the destruction which consists of eternal misery in hell. Damnable. Okay, where was we at? Let's go back to Malachi 1 and 4. So perdition goes into destruction. But it had other examples, but it's destruction, right? Let's see if it pops up. So indignation is to denounce, express indignation, to have indignation, to show anger, right? Because what is the Lord going to do? He's going to show his wrath, his anger, right? The Lord is going to show his anger upon Edom, right? And it's going to be condemnation, destruction. This is Revelations 20, verse 1 and 3. Now I'm going to this one because I had quoted earlier about the Europe thing. So in history, after in the time of when the Romans fell, right? So Revelations 20 and 3, and it's a big time leap when it goes to 4 and down. The 4 is going into this time, right? And then verse 5 to 6 is going into after this time, reigning with Yahawashi, right? But the whole point is Revelations 1 and 3. It says, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. Now we know Yahawashi was given the authority, right? The power to have the keys of death, of hell and death, right? So before I run my mouth, and I know somebody watching, let's actually get the precept just to show it. Click it, put it in red letter. It says, I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore. Amen. And have the keys of hell and of death, right? Hell is a condition, which he has the key to put you in a lower state. Just like what we read in 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 6 and 9, right? He could put you in a poor state, basically a slave estate, right? Shoot, he could switch you and make you on high, and he could put you to death. He could put you right in the freaking spirit world, right? Yahawashi has that power. So let's go back to Revelations 20. So again, and I saw an angel come down from heaven. This is John, having the key of the bottomless pit. That pit is a land, which is 2nd Esdras, the 5th chapter, verse 24, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, which is not a literal dragon, with fire. Revelations 12. That's just going back into relating to Rome, right? It says that old serpent, right, which is the devil and Satan, which is that spiritual attribute, right, of the physical devil, because the old serpent was a physical man in the time of Adam and Eve. What I said earlier, that same spirit in the serpent went into Cain, and that same spirit went into Esau. Those was men, right? Because hey, the children of the Lord have the spirit of the Lord, right? You have the righteous that have the spirit of the Rakakwadash on the right hand side, and then you have the 2/3, the wicked of Israel, that have the spirits or the demons on the left hand side that Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi controls, right? It says, and bound him 1,000 years. This is after Rome fell. Rome, right? It says, and cast him into the bottomless pit, Europe, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him that he should not deceive the nations no more. That's how low he was. The Lord brought Esau so low in that time, he could not deceive or persecute or bring low. He couldn't bring any nation low. It says, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. So he had to be in a lower state until those 1,000 years was fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. So right now, we're in that little season right now, starting with the Borgia family. That was the start of their season, right? What is it called? Um, uh, the Renaissance. Renaissance means rebirth. And that was the rebirth of what? The rebirth of Rome, right? The rebirth of that dragon or the rebirth of that beast, right? Which is a kingdom, a nation, or a political power, right? So Lord willing, y'all got that. So now we're about to start closing. I'm about to give you two more and then we're going to close, right? This is 1 John chapter 3 and verse 12 to 15. It says, not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, and slew his brother. Wherefore slew he him? Because his own works were evil and his brother's righteous. Marvel not, my brethren, if the world hates you. We know that we have passed from death unto life, because we love the brethren. He that loveth not his brethren abideth in death, right? And we're talking about this whole lesson about Esau. Esau had the same spirit of Cain, wanting to kill his brother. And guess what he did? His descendants afflicted us, killing us in the street, right? Lord willing, I can do this other video and you'll hear how Jake is talking about it. They have a track record of killing us, bringing us here. Jake didn't want to be with them. They just jumped off the boat. Then you had Esau pushing them in the water for alligator bait and laughing. Go watch the movie Goodbye, Uncle Tom. It's history on what they've done to the Black, Latino, Hispanics, and natives. It's multiple nations that was brought low, but we're talking about the children of Israel. That's one nation that we're talking about that was in the hands of Esau. Verse 15, whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer, which Cain was and Esau, and ye know that no murderer had eternal life abiding in him. That's why Esau can't repent. There's no room for repentance for him, right? So for anybody, Esau, no. What their forefathers did, the Lord is going to judge them for what their fathers did. Because the men now are their fathers, man. You reap what you sow, man. Ain't nobody about to skip past what the Lord recorded, the heavens and the earth. Even the children of Israel, they got to reap what they sow. 2/3 and the elect, right? So Psalms 37, I'm going to read verse 12, 13, and then drop down to 16. It says, the wicked plotteth against the just, and gasheth upon him with his teeth. And Yahawashi shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. The Lord is laughing now. This is why the truth, this is how I look at it even more too. The more that this truth is growing through the Spirit, the Lord is laughing at these fools, man. Right now, my brother just sent something in the inbox that a U.S. aircraft carrier collides with tanker ship in the Mediterranean. It just been plane crash after plane crash after plane crash, right? The Lord is making moves. What they say? Making plays. The Lord is making plays. Esau is about to fall. The Lord been visiting this earth. You know, when you were a kid, oh, it's thundering. Isaiah 29:6, the Lord is visiting the earth through thunder, fire, tempest, and earthquakes. They said America, United States had, what, 13,000 earthquakes in 2024? That's a lot. But just say 5, just say 100 earthquakes. The Lord is visiting the earth, right? Psalms 37:15. Their sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bows shall be broken, right? And that's going to be those missiles. That's why the elites are going to have to hide, right? Because when their prized possession fall, it's over. America is their prized possession. This is daughter. This is virgin Babylon. And guess what? When a wife is touched, nobody else should be having her. So since America is a virgin and nobody touched her in the land, when she get touched, it's over. It's over. Their rulership is done. Because now your precious jewel got touched. You're done. You're defiled and destroyed. Yahawashi is great, but because I said this, I gotta bring this out. A lot of people truly don't believe in Yahawashi. And we're just gonna bring out the scriptures. You believe what you want. You got Isaiah, 41:18. The Lord be showing his wrath, right? This is Isaiah 29:6. It says, thou shalt be visited of Yahawah of hosts with thunder, with earthquake, and great noise, with storm and tempest and flame of devouring fire, right? It said thunder. Hey, I'm gonna look at that word visit too. In NLT, it says, I, Yahawah of heaven's army, will act for you with thunder, earthquake, and great noise, and with whirlwind and storm and consuming fire. What does the Amplified Bible say? It says, you will be punished by Yahawah of hosts with thunder and earthquake and great noise, and with whirlwind and tempest and the flaming of consuming fire. And it been a lot of death, man. A lot of death. I think this word visit goes into smid. I think. Just make it quick and then we'll close. Pakad. Yeah, okay, it's taking a long time to load. So the Lord, it says visit. I'm trying to just go straight to the point. You can read the Strong's definitions, right? Oversee, muster, charge, care for, miss, deposit, appoint, at all, avenge, bestow, right? You can keep looking at those, the biblical usage to attend to, the same thing what is said above, reckon, visit, punish, appoint, look after, care, to pay attention to. So if he's visiting the earth, he's paying attention to, observe, seek, look about for. What is it? Amos 9:8. The Lord's eyes upon the sinful kingdom. And it's not just like the Lord, he could just sit on his throne, but he got angels visiting the earth. And even in the spirit that you can't even see, if you are one of, the chosen ones, even the wicked, you got demons. There's people say, I believe in demons, but ain't no angel here. You bugged out if you believe demons is here, but not angels. Angels is watching and watching over the ones that the Lord have anointed and covered. Psalms 34:7, right? That angels encampeth around those that fear him. Not just for 5 minutes, 20 minutes. As long as you living, them angels is always in motion because they got a job just like us, right? To visit is to be watched over, right? So when he's dropping thunderbolts, fire, the Lord is watching, man. It's no way we can get around the wrath and the power of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, right? So again, this lesson, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi hardened Pharaoh's heart. How much more Esau, right? His heart got so hardened, he hate us, right? He's lurking, right? Exodus 7:3, I will harden Pharaoh's heart and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. The new Pharaoh is Esau, man. And the Lord is hardening Esau's heart even more. And that harden, he's going to be more severe. He's going to persecute us even worse, right? He's going to persecute us even worse. So for you, Jake, talking about y'all trying to prophesied or speak on Jacob's trouble. We already went through it. Jacob's trouble is for the nations. No, why do you think it's called Jacob's trouble? Because it's for the 2/3, right? But Jacob, in order for us to get that kingdom, we got to get tried. We got to suffer. Yahawashi, before he got that glory, did he not suffer? Yes. Y'all bugged out. And all praise to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, because yes, Esau's heart is way harder, right? And if you are a 2/3, you're not going to make it. So all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham Rakakwadash. And again, double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. With that, shalom, shalom.